This figure was recently in the news. Its name is said to be Baal. Who is it? What significance does it hold in the modern day? And what connection does it have with the era of Prophet Elijah, also known as Ilyas, in Islam? Let's try to find out. Now, when it comes to the events from the time of Prophet Elijah, we don't find detailed accounts in the Quran. So, we often refer to the Tanakh or the Old Testament for additional context. Before we continue, a quick note. As researchers, we do not consider the Tanakh or the Old Testament to be the literal word of God, but rather writings attributed to the servants of God. As for their intentions, we simply don't know. If they were sincere and careful in conveying the truth, they may be rewarded by God, even if they made mistakes. But if they promoted a particular narrative for personal gain, they will be held accountable. I believe a similar principle applies to the translators and interpreters of the Quran and Hadith as well. So, how do we verify the information mentioned in the Tanakh? First, we compare it with the Quran. If the Quran does not provide details, we can then look at external historical sources, such as cuneiform inscriptions discovered from that era. One more important point to mention. If you are a Muslim, you should recognize that the Tanakh, or the Old Testament, is connected to your own tradition. The prophets mentioned in these books are also your prophets, because they were sent by God. The people who followed them were the believers of their time. Of course, there may be errors in these texts, as they were written and compiled by multiple authors, each narrating based on their knowledge or what they had access to. I also believe that the arrangement of these books into different sections was also done by later individuals. One common mistake many Muslims make is when they are asked about the significance of Masjid al-Aqsa, they only mention Prophet Muhammad. While his connection is extremely important, it is not the only reason for its significance. Prophets such as Daniel, around 605 BCE, Elijah, around 850 BCE, Solomon, around 970 BCE, and David, around 1040 BC, were all connected to this same region. Well, Daniel is not considered a prophet in the Tanakh, as his book is not included in the prophets section. If you've seen my previous video on Prophet Daniel, you might already have a basic idea of the reason behind this. One of the reasons I encourage people to study and understand the earlier scriptures related to the prophets of God is that it can help dismantle the us versus them narrative, often pushed by colonial regimes. It has been observed that whenever a political entity seeks support from its followers, it tends to rely on this tactic, portraying them as the bad guys and us as the good ones. A critical point is that these colonizers justify their actions by believing that their religion or their understanding of God demands it.